Facts are only useful if you can connect them together and form useful mental models. The human brain has a remarkable ability to take in seemingly disparate facts and weave them together into coherent mental models that we can then use to understand the world around us and make better decisions. So, how do we do this? Well, one way is to use universal thinking frameworks like first principles, inversion, or second-order thinking. Let's take first principles as an example. This is a framework for breaking down complex problems into their fundamental truths and then using those truths to develop creative solutions. It's a 5-step process that looks like this. Start with the problem, then decompose it into its fundamental truths. Infer the principles from those truths. Develop your solution based on those principles. And finally, test your solution to see if it works. This is a powerful way to think about problems, especially when they're complex or when you're dealing with new situations. That's because by breaking the problem down into its fundamental truths, you're able to ignore all the extraneous details and focus on what really matters. This allows you to be more creative in your thinking and come up with solutions that you might not have thought of otherwise. Another example is inversion, which is a framework for thinking about problems from different perspectives. This is useful for breaking mental models because it forces you to look at the problem from angles that you might not have considered otherwise. By considering the problem from different perspectives, you're able to come up with more creative and effective solutions. For example, when trying to figure out why a particular product isn't selling well, you might start by asking why customers don't like the product. But if you use inversion, you would also ask why the product might actually be selling well, and what you could learn from that. You might be surprised to find that there's a lot of things that you could learn from a product that's selling well, even if you don't end up using them. Finally, we have second-order thinking, which is a framework for understanding the consequences of actions and decisions. This is important for making sure that your solutions don't create new problems. So while first principles and inversion are great for coming up with creative solutions, second-order thinking is essential for making sure that those solutions are actually useful. All these frameworks are useful for breaking down complex facts into simple, transferable knowledge. They allow you to move beyond simply memorizing facts and instead develop a deep understanding of the underlying principles that govern the world around us. And that, my friend, is the whole point of learning in the first place.